Hey boys and girls, Jester here and welcome to the court. This week I want to talk about something that I kind of stumbled across while I was writing last night. As some of you may know, over on jessconceptions.blogspot.co.uk, subtle plug, I write two narrative series, one of which being The Hunters. Now I tend to finish that off on a Saturday night and then it goes up on a Sunday morning. Today's episode, or instalment, probably the right word to use, is already up. But while writing this instalment, I stumbled across a sort of a thought in my head that I thought might be worth discussing if there's somebody out there who wants to weigh in. I introduced 3 new characters this week for the Hunter story. No names yet, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say too much about what exactly they are. I'm actually now realising I kind of have to for the point of this discussion. But most people probably guess what they are anyway if you read the series. Now, to save people who don't want to go and read it to understand where this conversation is going, I'm just going to vaguely explain where this is going now. These 3 characters, they're basically angels, in a roundabout way. Every religion has their own version of an angel-like creature. They exist in Islam, they exist in Christianity, and to an extent they do exist in Hinduism and even Shinto. This is all based on readings I've done of various religions on various websites, all this kind of thing. Now obviously they use different names, all that kind of thing, and they have different purposes in each religion, but a general thematic and idea of them being servants of a god towards benevolence is constant, for the most part. But anyway, because of the topic of the Hunters, I'm kind of like inventing my own kind of world in terms of religion, or an origin, I suppose, of reality and spirituality, all this kind of thing. Like, I'm not trying to fly in the face of religion and all that kind of thing, that's not my intention. It's just literally I'm just trying to create something new. It's a basis for what is occurring in that series. And for those who don't know, that series basically revolves around not quite human people given power by an overlying spiritual power, be it God or just general universal power, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of hard to explain in words, that's why it's so hard to write, but I'm having fun with it anyway. Back to the point, these 3 people that I've introduced are, for all intents and purposes, angels. However, I wanted to take it with a slightly different approach, whereas they're not your typical angels, at least as far as I'm aware. Now again, I have to say here, it's kind of a disclaimer, I don't know if what I'm doing is entirely original or not. I've not read or seen anything personally that I've stolen this from as such, but I can't deny that I have had influences from a lot of different things in pretty much everything I write. But these days, who can say any differently? Anyway, these 3 individuals, they have wings, and this is what I want to talk about. The air quotes there, that's because they don't have wings in sense of the pictures you see of angels in books and on TV and all that kind of thing, you know, actual wings that you can see on the back there with all the feathers and everything. Don't know what this was. I was trying to use wings as more of a metaphor for the kind of like an overbearing feeling of, power is the wrong word, but like influence, I suppose. I mean, I found it so difficult to try and find the right wording while I was writing this last night. But yeah, the wings is kind of like, let me try and explain it this way. When I was in school, I went to a Catholic school because my family's Catholic. We learned in religion that God is obviously omniscient, omnipresent and benevolent. Omniscient meaning all-knowing, omnipotent meaning all-powerful, and benevolent meaning kind, all that kind of thing. So very much New Testament God, not so much the wrathy Old Testament God, Catholicism. But my point was, I wanted these 3 characters to be synonymous with angels, but not quite angels, in the sense that they don't have wings, but the mortal mind can only perceive this influence, this power, this majesty that they carry with them as agents of this higher power. And the mortal mind can only really sort of perceive them in what has become a norm for the mortal mind to perceive in this kind of creature. Does that make sense? You see, this is why I want to discuss it, because I'm not sure I'm making sense of it, so I'm hoping maybe you guys can help me find a better way to describe this. It's like they appear and you can feel this omnipresence, omniscience, benevolence, whichever one you want to call it, the majesty that they carry with them. You feel it. You can't see it, but you feel it as if it were a physical thing. And my idea was that the mortal mind interpreted this as, well, for all intents and purposes, invisible wings that fill the sky. And that's only because everybody already has this angelic metaphor in their head. Anyway, it was kind of like a commentary on how the world sees things that way. For a lot of it anyway, depending on your religion. But at the same time, I didn't want to make it religious. I wanted to make it more of just a process of life, a circle of life thing. Now, if you've read the passage, thank you very, very much. If you haven't, I'll possibly be spoiling something here for you, but it's up to you if you want to go read it. The first individual of these three new characters that I described, the blonde girl in black, she is... I'm not going to give any names just yet because that gets revealed next week. She is, for all intents and purposes, the angel of death, but not in a sense of the typical angel of death who comes and takes the soul by actually, like death is in the Grim Reaper. He doesn't actually, he causes the death in a lot of versions of the story. There's so many different versions, She's more of the angel of death who appears when a person has died and collects the soul and then takes it off. I'm simplifying this. I like to keep it a bit more metaphorical, metaphysical in my own actual story and explanation, all that kind of thing, but it's hard to do when there's not words to describe that kind of thing. And then the second individual, the man in the white, he's more of an angel of life. The idea for him is that he does the opposite of what she does. He makes life within the world, or rather he brings life to the world from the realm this higher power exists in. If you've read the prologue, the very first part of the Hunters, that will make more sense to you, because I think I did alright explaining that properly there. And then the third angel is kind of the balance between the two, but then in the same way something entirely different. I can't tell you too much about him because then I will be ruining what's going to happen in the story next week. But now with all that in mind, I want to talk about what you guys think of the angel myth. And you can take this religiously, or you can just take it in terms of what is shown in the media, or you can make something of your own. What is your personal belief? Because I was raised Catholic, but I do not believe. I have to say, I'm not a believer. However, I can accept that there possibly is something out there. I choose not to follow religion so much as follow a sense in the world that people are supposed to do the right thing if they can. So less religion, I don't feel like I have to have a god or a dogma to tell me to do the right thing. I feel like I can do the right thing because it's the right thing. That's it. That's all that's necessary for that to be. I'm not trying to criticise people who do believe here. If that's what you believe, that's fine. I'm not anti-religion. Just in myself, I don't feel I need to feel like there's a god I'm impressing just to do the right thing. That's just a personal belief. I'm not trying to upset anybody. If you have a god and he helps you to get through life in many other ways other than just doing the right thing, people believe in God for a lot of very different reasons. That's fine. I'm not taking that from you. I'm not denying the fact that he could or she could very possibly exist, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, so the question of this week is probably really, really serious. So let's maybe try and have a bit of fun with it. Let's like I always say, let's try and make a story out of it rather than an argument. You tell me how you perceive the idea of an angel, be it religiously, or maybe you've got your own belief, or maybe you like something that was portrayed in the media, or this kind of thing. You tell me like your favourite perception of what an angel could be. And at the same time, I'm kind of hoping if you guys can give me some feedback. If you want to, go read this latest instalment of The Hunters to get an idea of what, that's my niece, I really hope you can't hear that. As I was saying, I'd love it if you guys could give me some feedback along with your answer for the question of the week as to my attempt at explaining what the wings represent, all that kind of stuff, just to help me out. And as ever always, please go check out jessconcessions.blogspot.co.uk anyway. For those of you who don't want to watch. For those of you that don't want to read a whole long Hunter section, the Blaze story is shorter every week, and it's a good story, I'm told. Now before we end today, I just want to give special thanks to Pineapple Boy Films, because after my video last week praising Pops, the Platoon of Power Squadron, he tweeted about me and my video and how much he appreciated it and all that kind of thing, and commented on my video, and that was easily the best day ever of all time. And that video itself is my only video now to break 100 views. So it was pretty fucking amazing. Thank you very much. As always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see and you want to see more. I've been Jester, you've been awesome, this has been fun, and I'll see you through the week. Bless her, she couldn't find Grandad.